Buddhism originated in the eastern region of India during the 6th century BC. Siddhartha Gautam is the historical founder of Buddhism and the primary figure in Buddhism. Gautam Buddha is venerated in Buddhism, but he is not a god or a deity, nor did he ever claim to be one. There can be no organized religious system and belief without Godhead. Early Buddhism is perhaps the only example in the history of religion to be constructed on the basis of the negation of the Godhead. After Siddhartha Gautam passed away, the community he founded slowly evolved into a religious movement, and the teachings of Siddhartha became the basis of Buddhism. Also, since there is no mention of any pre-Buddhist order of nuns, it must be a Buddhist innovation. The historical evidence suggests that Buddhism had a humble beginning. However, by the 3rd century BC, the picture of Buddhism changed completely. The Mauryan Emperor Ashoka, who ruled from 268 to 232 BC, turned Buddhism into the state religion of India. He promoted Buddhism in every corner of his empire and sent Buddhist missions to various parts of the known world. As Buddhism grew and expanded, many monastic schools emerged among Buddha's followers. By around the 1st century AD, a major split occurred within the Buddhist schools that emerged from the Buddha Sangha, resulting in the Mahayana and Nikaya Buddhism branches. Nikaya was an early school of Buddhism, which is also known as the Lesser Vehicle. Today, the only surviving school of the Nikaya branch is Theravada Buddhism, which was founded in the 4th century BC. The name Theravada is derived from the Pali words Thera, which means elders, and Vada, which means doctrine. Theravada literally means the doctrine of the elders. Theravada Buddhism follows the Pali canon or Tripitaka. Theravada has been the main tradition of Buddhism in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, and Southeast Asia. The total population of the followers of Theravada Buddhism is more than 150 million worldwide. In recent decades, Theravada Buddhism has begun to take root in the West, especially in Europe, North America, and Australia. During the 4th Sinhalese Buddhist Council held in Sri Lanka during the 1st century BC, under the patronage of the great Sinhalese king Vattakamani Abhaya, the Theravada school compiled the sacred canon of early Buddhist teachings and regulations that is called the Tripitaka in the written form. These are the oldest written records of the Buddha's teachings. Because of its historical dominance in southern Asia, Theravada is also identified as Southern Buddhism, in contrast to the Northern Buddhism, which migrated northwards from India into Tibet, China, Japan, and Korea. Generally, those followers of Buddhism who are guided by Mahayana Sutras and who venerate the Bodhisattvas are considered to be the followers of Mahayana Buddhism. Nikaya and contemporary Theravada Buddhists do not accept the teachings of the Mahayana Sutras as being authentic teachings of the Buddha, and they emphasize a monastic lifestyle and practice of meditation. Theravada monks hold that the Buddha taught the doctrine of anatta, or no soul, when he spoke of the impermanence of the human body, form, perceptions, sensations, feelings, will, and consciousness. However, they believe that human beings continue to be reformed and reborn and collect karma until they reach nirvana. The Mahayana, or the Greater Vehicle School, emerged during the 1st century BC to the 2nd century AD from within Indian Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism is found in Korea, China, Japan, Vietnam, and Tibet. Mahayana is a Sanskrit word which means the greater vehicle. Maha means great and Yana means vehicle or raft. which is symbolic of Buddhist teachings as a boat or vehicle that can help one cross over the river of suffering to the other shore, which is nirvana. The Mahayana is thus the great vehicle. The Mahayana tradition draws on a larger set of scriptures, including many new scriptures composed in the early centuries of Common Era as authentic teachings. A number of new scriptures or sutras, such as the Lotus Sutra, the Avatamsaka Sutra, the Mahaparinirvana Sutra, and the Pure Land Sutra, focus on specific teachings such as the emptiness of all phenomena or Shunyata, the importance of compassion or Karuna, and the universal Buddha nature. The Mahayana tradition stresses that lay people can also be exemplary Buddhists and that a monastic lifestyle and meditation are not the sole paths to nirvana. This school believes that Gautam Buddha and all human beings have a common origin called Buddha nature or Buddha mind or emptiness, depending on the school. This nothing is not literally an empty space or condition. It is a completely indescribable source of all existence and at the same time enlightenment potential. In this branch, the historical Buddha was only one manifestation of Buddha nature. Mahayana followers therefore believe in many past and future Buddhas, some of whom are godlike and preside over Buddha worlds or heavenly paradises. The ideal religious figure in the Mahayana tradition is the Bodhisattva. A Bodhisattva is a being who is on the path towards the Buddhahood. Bodhisattvas are driven entirely by compassion and are informed by deep wisdom. Buddhism developed deep roots and thrived in many other countries in Asia to which it was transmitted. The diversity of interpretations, the adaptability of Buddhism, and the evolution of practices that have emerged in various countries have allowed people of many lands and cultures to meet their spiritual needs through this religion. The spread of Buddhism to other lands and peoples from its original base in India began as early as 3rd century BC. Buddhist monks traveled via the Silk Road to communities throughout Central Asia to China. It reached China during the 2nd century AD, and by the 7th century, Buddhism was a significant force in China. At about the same time, Buddhism became firmly rooted in Korea. By the 6th century AD, it had also spread to Japan, where it developed in a context shaped by both Shinto and other Japanese indigenous traditions. In the 7th century AD, Mahayana Buddhism, in the shape of the Tantric traditions of northeast India, spread to the high mountain plateau of Tibet. In Tibet, Buddhism interacted and was influenced by the indigenous Bon religion and with other sects of Buddhism that have traveled to Tibet from East Asia. A distinctive and vibrant form of Mahayana Buddhism emerged, known as Vajrayana, or the Diamond Vehicle, or the Thunderbolt Vehicle. This stream of Buddhism, which is most prominent in Tibet and its surrounding regions, is also present in China and Japan. Most Buddhists and schools that emerged from Tibetan highlands and Bhutan follow Vajrayana Buddhism. Gradually, Vajrayana Buddhism developed into a separate third path of Buddhist traditions, besides Theravada and Mahayana. The majority of the followers of Vajrayana Buddhism are found in Tibet, Bhutan, Nepal, Mongolia, and in the Indian regions of Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh. Today, Mahayana Buddhists are 2/3 of around 520 million followers of Buddhism in the world.